Welcome. This is the year in review, year ahead podcast of the Shelton Bumgarner Show. Let me introduce myself briefly. My name is Shelton Bumgarner. I am a writer, photographer, artiste, and raconteur. And I am joined for at least a moment by the ever lovely and talented Kylie Smith.
Yeah, until I have to throw up. I had a snow cone.
And, I, in my opinion, Kylie is the most beautiful woman on Blab.
Oh,
and I'll say that on the record.
Oh, yeah, I heard you say it on Periscope too. I watched that replay. Like,
yes, I would say it. I said it to your face because it's the truth. You are the most beautiful woman on Blab.
Do we got music going?
Okay, so Kylie apparently has a stomach bug or some sort. So she may at some point. Okay, she may in some point barf during the course of this program.
Oh.
Okay, so this program is about the year in review and the year ahead. Let's first of all let's review the year in the past year. The year 2015 sucked. It was a horrible year for any number of reasons. It was one of the worst years I can think of in a long time. Chief amongst them being that Donald Trump existed. But Kylie, I think, has a different opinion about this. Kylie, tell me, what do you think of Donald Trump?
No.
Yes!
You can't? No. I was coming in like, oh, there's Shelton. Now you're going to put on record and ask me what I think about Donald Trump. Don't put me on the spot like this. He's not my favorite. I'll say that. But I'll take him over the Democratic candidates. But he is not my first choice.
Okay, I can accept that.
Okay. I'm not a Democrat nor a Republican. I like that he's an asshole because I'm an asshole. That's about it. Just going to leave it at that.
Okay.
Why did 2015 suck so bad?
It sucked because just horrible things happen, like time and again. Horrible things happen, from the bombings in Paris to ISIS.
Oh, you're not talking.
No, I'm not talking about my.
Life.
I'm not. Well, in my life, my personal life sucked too, but not nearly as bad as the global scale of the suckitude of this year. This year sucked really bad. For me personally, it was actually not that bad in some respects, because it was like the worst of times, best times. I lost my job in July, but just at the same time that I lost my job, I found Blab. I discovered Blab, and the rest is history. In fact, I actually discovered Periscope first, and then I discovered Blab. So Kylie, tell us about your year. How did your years go? We got a whole hour, so you can fill up airtime.
As horrible as it sounds, I think this was my least favorite year of my life yet. But then again,
you're only 20.
So yeah. There were obviously highs and lows like every other year, but overall, this one was just kind of the worst. I'm in like a pivotal point in my life, just a lot of stuff going on, school, family, yada yada. A lot of changes and whatnot, but I feel like 2016 is going to be a lot better, so I'm excited.
So, in what way do you think 2016 will be different?
It's going to be my 21st birthday. Woo! I have two nieces coming, one in March and one either end of April, beginning of May. So that should bring a lot of happiness to my life. I finished my first part. Alcohol makes everything better. I'll have my first part of college done next year, and I'll be transferring. So it's just going to be like a lot of steps forward and good family stuff going on. So I have high hopes that it will be better.
Well, that's excellent. Congratulations on your coming relatives. You're welcome.
Thank you.
So, hey, Mary's here. Mary might get you off the. Mary might get you off the hook. But I want you to stay as long as you can. Mary, jump in. The show has officially begun. Now it's 10 o'clock. I started a little early. But Mary, jump in and help us out. Yes, okay, here we go. Now I'm joined by two beautiful women.
Hello.
Hello.
Hi, Mary.
Hi, Kylie.
This is the first time we've been on camera
together. I know.
Does your shirt have a middle finger on it?
My shirt.
Oh, that's your necklace. It looks like a middle finger.
That would be funny, though.
Okay, so we're talking about the year we're talking about the year in review and the year ahead. Mary, what do you think are some of the highlights of this year, which I claim was full of suckitude? What do you think? And Yassine is here. What do you think was some of the highlights of the year, for better or for worse, Mary? And also introduce yourself, by the way.
Hello, I'm Mary.
Hello, Mary.
Highlights as like personally or
I was thinking Michaela's here. I was thinking along the lines of, like, first of all, nationally or globally, and then you can go personal.
Golly, I gotta tell you, I've been so kind of in my own world the past year. I've been so busy, like, doing my own work, startup, business stuff. I kind of fell off the face of the planet with anything current that's going on. I didn't have TV. I've been, like, so out of touch. So I honestly, like, was in my own little bubble. I'm probably not really up to date on a lot of, like, current events.
That's fine. Well, tell us about your personal life. What happened in your personal life that was some highlights that you might want to share?
Let's see. Well, with what I do, I have a couple businesses that I have my finger in. Mine is connecting professional athletes with their fan groups or people that need another avenue for fitness, motivation, workout, that kind of thing. So we go around and get the workout routines of pro athletes like NFL, MLB, NBA, NHL players, that kind of thing. Yep. And work on their, like, film them doing their workouts and their drills and stuff like that. And then their fans can sign up and follow along with them, work out, that kind of stuff. So I've done a ton of traveling and a lot of exposure to a lot of sports worlds, which is kind of hilarious because
Can you find me a boyfriend?
Kylie, I have no idea why you would need any help in that department. I think maybe you just walk outside, and I think you'll be okay.
Yes, all you have to do is just walk around. You'll bump into one eventually, probably.
No, if you really need help, I can try, but I really don't believe that you need help in that department.
We'll talk about it.
So yeah, just a lot of traveling, a lot of cool events, like hitting, like the PGA show and like that kind of stuff, just like bumping around, meeting a lot of sports world people. That's kind of been my life. On the road 2 weeks out of every month, that kind of thing. But yeah, as far as like big current stuff, I gotta tell you, I'm not real on top of things. What about you, Shelton? What have you been doing?
Well, I've been on Blab.
Oh yeah, well, I did discover Blab too.
I discovered Blab, and I've been on it way too much. I discovered Blab, like, personally. I started the year with a job and ended it, alas, without one. I had a job until about July, and it's eerie how. And before I continue, Michaela, Bitcoin Babe, AU, jump in and let's talk. Maybe she can talk about Bitcoin. So I start about July. I had a job, and then I lost it, and then I discovered Periscope, and then I discovered Blab, and I woke up and 2 months had gone by, and my sister looked at me and she goes, "What have you been doing for the last 2 months? I haven't talked to you at all." And I'm like, I've been blabbing." That was the beginning of the end. So anyway, I some very interesting things have happened to me on Blab. Some fascinating, interesting people. I've met some fascinating, interesting people. The closest thing the closest thing I can compare Blab to is the expat community in Seoul, South Korea. It's almost identical in some respects. It's eerily similar because there are lots of people, large and life characters in Seoul, South Korea's expat community, and they have like handles and stuff, and like it's really it's really weird how similar the two are. Robert Hamilton, please, White Kirsty phone for Robert Hamilton. Please jump in. What about, we have a long time, guys. We got an hour to talk. So Kylie, tell us what are you studying again, and what do you?
Oh, hold on.
Yes.
I have a thought.
Yes, you have.
So you asked Mary, like, I forget what you said. Something about like a high point of this year.
Yes, a high point.
I was thinking about it. I was like, it's kind of sad. Like, there's obviously probably been plenty of great things that have happened in the world this year, but like I couldn't think of one, and I just immediately started thinking of all the bad stuff that happened this year.
Exactly.
Like,
that's why
I can't think of like one great thing, and I know they're there, but that was a little sad. Anyways.
So I want Kylie. We got lots and lots of time to fill up, so I'm going to ask you some questions that are not directly related to the subject at hand. Kylie, why are you so conservative? What was
Who said that I was?
Well, you said you would never date a liberal, and that you and that.
Listen, let's clarify. It's not because they are a liberal.
Okay.
It's because their views, morals, how they go about things are just different than the way I do, and how I grew up and how I learned. And I just noticed that I don't get along with most.
Okay. So
like getting in a deep, it's not because, oh, he's a liberal, I can't date him. It's just more so like I don't see eye to eye.
Okay.
But yeah, it's not like, oh, they're liberal, I can't date them. Oh, they're Republican, I can't date them. It has nothing to do with that.
Okay. I thought that maybe.
Just clarifying.
Okay. Thank you for clarifying it.
Because I am not a Republican.
Okay, that's fine.
Not associate myself.
I am not associated with the Republican Party. Okay.
I don't.
Okay. I was just curious because I heard you say that. I was like, well, she must be really conservative or something.
No.
Okay, Mary. What are your plans for 2016? Do you have any?
Just charting away with the startup. You know, we have our lineup of the next group of players that we need to get filmed and onto our platform, and hopefully building up that side of things. So it's more of the same, just a lot of traveling. It's pretty rough. I mean, it's a lot of fun. Just going around, filming people and meeting new people and doing a lot of video editing and a lot of time right here in front of the old iMac. This is where I spend 75% of my awake time whenever I'm home.
Do you go out of the country?
No, not for the business. We're pretty busy right here locally. Whenever we hit soccer, a lot of the soccer stuff is international, like the players that are interested there. So we'll look into that at that point, but we're pretty busy here at the moment.
Nice.
How old are you, Kylie?
20.
20? Okay.
Mm-hmm.
So Mary, okay, this is the question. This is a question I've talked about a lot at length. And we have a lot of time. We have a lot of time, so I ask this question. As a woman in live streaming, and also Kylie is a woman in live streaming, do you feel like is Blab more supportive than Periscope or not?
I've only used Periscope to like live stream probably 5 times. So I don't know if I can give you a great answer to that.
Well,
I like Blab more.
And why do you like Blab more?
Periscope's a little awkward to me. Just like I'm just like sitting there looking at myself, and then people are commenting. I feel like I'm not actually talking to people. Whereas on here, you're actually having conversations. I don't know. Plus,
I guess I
you
don't
can get
feel
like
like-
a lot more in depth on here. Like on Periscope, they cut off your comments to only be like a certain length, and they just like shoot up. You can't even read them. It just seems very impersonal. Periscope just feels like. Yeah. Can you
I don't have
speak
any
up a little
subject
for me?
matter to really, I feel like, carry on a Periscope. Like I don't have anything that I really want to talk about by myself, basically, for an extended period of time. And maybe that's just my personality. Like Blab works a lot better for me because I prefer to have conversations and kind of, I don't think I have personally enough desire or whatever it is it takes to just talk at my phone by myself for 20 or 30 minutes. I just don't have anything I want to talk about myself.
So have you like, you hear the, I guess what I'm saying is, okay, there are women on Periscope who, like, both of you are attractive women. Like, you could probably get 3,000 followers quite easily by just being yourself. Now, what do you think about that? The attention that you get may or may not be what you want in some respects, but like on Periscope specifically, what do you think about that? Do you think that's like, what do you think about that aspect of the aspect of just by being a woman you get attention? What do you think about that?
I think it's a lot easier for guys to get away with it on Periscope because their faces aren't being shown. They can type in the comments. Whereas if you do it on Blab, like if someone commented in the chat right now, like, damn, Mary looking hot, you have all of us looking at it and all of us that can respond and other people like can respond to you in there. So I feel like it happens a lot more on Periscope.
Yes, the weirdness is much more prevalent on Periscope than on Blab, because Blab
I've never had anyone say open bobs on Blab.
Yes, Blab is that's the thing. The Blab is much more supportive, much more supportive and pleasant than Periscope. Periscope is kind of
you haven't.
Periscope is kind of brutal. It's sort of a brutal environment because people feel like they can ask entirely stupid questions. She's saying, "Don't forget the other Blab." Okay, so Mary, what do you think about that? Well,
I think that Periscope is definitely a platform where it's a lot easier to be pervy. Like Kylie, I don't know if you've ever had this experience, but when I was kind of new into Periscope, I started getting these requests for private scopes, which I didn't even know what that was, and
we actually had a private scope girl on Tabby, which I think Kylie knows maybe.
Yeah, well, I mean, I didn't know what was going on. I was still trying to figure out what Periscope was all about, and how it came about was I went to a scope that was not private, but when the screen popped up, it was just it was a guy who had his junk out and he was jerking off, and I was like, whoa, okay. And that was not private. And so I exited that scope. Well, I mean, I did kind of like watch it for a minute. I was like,
I did watch it for a while, but then I exited.
Was like, well,
I had to watch it, of course. I mean, what do you?
I was like, I guess Periscope's like, is it like the new chat roulette? I don't know what's going on here. And so, but I left, and after I left, he started sending me all of these requests for a private scope or something. And I was like, I don't even know what this means. I like clicked on the comment or something, and then I got thrown into a private scope with him. And then I was like, whoa, no. And then I exited. And for probably the next hour, I just got nonstop requests from him, like these notifications, like come back to my, I want to show you something.
I want to show you the rest of the package.
Right. I was like, is this what Periscope is about? So that was like one of my first experiences with it. So then I was like, maybe this is not a thing for me. And then like, I was on it enough after that to realize that wasn't the case. It was a pretty rare occurrence. I mean, it never happened to me again, but it was kind of a fun, just jumping into kind of thing. I can tell you, I've never experienced that on Blab yet.
I doubt
it will happen.
The dynamic is different. I doubt that that will happen. I mean, thank you, Nick. I need a full roster. And Nick is
Nick
a great conversationalist. So
Nick's one of my favorite people on Blab, and yeah, his if anybody has yet to see his bum twerking, it's quite.
It's not what I'm here for.
no thumb twerking.
Thumb twerking?
Thumb twerking.
Nick
Question.
James,
Yes,
what's up?
yes, Kylie.
Am I not loud enough? Because someone like tagged me and asked if I could.
You're loud enough for me. I can hear you.
I hear you.
Okay. All right. Just check.
Mm-hmm.
Hi, Nick.
Hi, Kylie. How are you?
I'm good.
That's good.
I don't know. I
long
think
time
the
no see.
experiences
Long time
on
no see.
Blab are more. I don't know. They're more authentic. They develop into fun stuff. You know, like I was just Shelton. I saw you in that Blab before about like the best Blab moments of 2015 that I was thinking about, and I brought Nick up actually because like some things just happen. You don't expect them to happen, and things evolve into Nick Darts being in a onesie dancing in his living room, and me being in a TARDIS dancing in my living room, and like it's kind of a fun thing. You form relationships with people and can find people that are just as silly and goofy as you are, and it can be a lot of fun. And I know that the Periscope community, like OG or Allie and like Chocolate Johnny and all of them, they have a pretty close-knit Periscope community too. But I know that they also do come onto Blab, and then they can face-to-face interact too, which is different.
So Nick, first of all, Mary, thank you for your contribution so far, and stay as long as you can, please. So Nick, tell us about your year in review.
My year in review. Wow. Boy, it's a long year.
All right. First of all, Nick, hold on a second, Nick. I don't understand this question.
Okay.
Mary, which picture is yours? I don't understand what that question is. That's a weird question. Okay, talk about Blab. Just talk about your personal your year in review and personally and so forth and so on.
Sure. First of all, let me apologize because my Canadian internet seems to be giving me problems at the moment. I'm kind of breaking in and out. Hopefully it'll stay stable. Year in review, it's been a good year. 2015 went by fast, just like all the other years. It gets faster and faster. Can't believe we're already through it. Good year, busy with work and, that sort of IRL stuff. But Blab has been the biggest change in my life.
Yeah. In what way? What way has Blab been a big change?
That it eats every minute of my day now, and it completely screwed up my sleeping schedule for a good while there. I'm sort of sinking back into it. Luckily with vacation, I think that's helping. But yeah, it definitely changed. Shelton, as you know, I think you were the first one. You popped my Blab cherry, and I walked into your show, and you convinced me. I think it took 3 or 4 times of you asking me to come up on camera. And I remember being just so nervous with that, whatever it used to be, the join button, and finally clicked it. So, and it went, spiraled into a huge avalanche from there. But I think it's, Blab's been the biggest change. It's an amazing sort of platform that has changed social media sort of for me anyways. Social media used to be just Facebook and friends on Facebook, but then meeting all these complete strangers and actually building friendships and relationships has been quite impressive. I don't know if that's the right word, but
yeah.
Just in my own mind, it's amazing how we can all be thousands of miles away, but actually be connecting to each other. And that's all there is to say about that.
Nick, you actually popped my Blab cherry, so we have a little thing going on here.
Uh-oh.
What did I come back into?
It's a circle of life.
Yeah.
Who popped Kylie's cherry?
Yes, who was your first Blab on camera person?
It was Amanda White and Nerdy Kyle. You know who I'm talking about?
Nerdy Kyle.
Kyle, yeah, Kyle.
Patrick or
right.
something.
Oh yeah, I know. Yeah, I know Kyle. Yeah, I know him. Yeah.
Yeah.
Haven't seen him in a while.
I talked about Star Wars with him recently.
Yeah, that one.
That one.
I think there should be a diagram of like the progression of Blab. Like we should capture, like try to remember our first feelings of when we hit that join button, like the apprehension, like the, oh my God, I'm kind of nervous about this.
I was scared shitless.
Oh,
Yeah.
dude, I wasn't nervous at all. I was like, yeah.
Oh, I was luckily a little bit inebriated or it wouldn't have happened, but like going and like now, you know, how comfortable you are, like some of the things that you do now when you're on record, like, you know, fall asleep or eat a block of cheese or, you know, whatever. Like, it's just...
Okay. James is because James won't come on camera, but he will contribute. And the Corey Ann is here, by the way.
Hi, Corey.
For our Canadian friends, Harper was gotten rid of. Talk about that. Our Canadian friend Nick. What do you think about that? For those of you who don't know, Harper was the Prime Minister of Canada until recently, when Mr. Trudeau took over.
Wow, good job. Thanks. I'm glad you know Trudeau. Yeah, we all hated him. The majority hated him, unless you were conservative, I guess, which is the Canadian equivalent of Republicans. And he Canada used to be known for like environmental protection and peace, but that kind of all went out the window with Harper. So a lot of us were upset that was how he ran the country. Economically, I think he did okay, but you know, it was his policies. And there's things like we used to have, I forget what it was, 50,000 like national parks protected, and under him we're down to like 300 or something. Like we've lost all our parks, and so Trudeau is changing it around. He's trying to be a peaceful prime minister. And even though we're still bombing ISIS, but trying to change that. And it's good hopes for the future. It's the Liberal Party, which is, you know, the Democrats who are in charge again. And most of the country, I think, falls under that category, unless you're in Alberta and you're all about oil and destroying the environment.
Except for Alberta.
Yeah, they really, most of them are. I've seen a lot of my friends post stuff on Facebook about how they hate Trudeau, but it's because, you know, we're doing terrible things up north in Alberta for the oil that really isn't making us much money anyways, because the States doesn't buy it off of us directly. So yeah, but I'm not a political guy. I'm not the one to talk to about politics in Canada. It's not my interest.
Okay. Thank you for your contribution. Moving right along, another year in review thing? What is about? What do you guys think about marriage equality? I know this is the point where Kylie probably is going to invoke something really interesting to say. Kylie, I'll go to you first, because you probably are the one person that's different than everybody else in this room.
Why?
I just have a feeling you're going to say that you don't agree with us. Is it true or not?
Absolutely
well, that's fine.
Not.
Okay,
No.
what's your opinion?
I'm all about gay marriage.
Okay, I was expecting you to say no. That's so.
God, you think I'm just some like hardcore Republican
Well,
that has a Confederate flag hanging off the God.
Well, I don't know. I honestly
have
don't
a lot
know.
of views from both sides. That's why
Okay,
I
I honestly don't know. That's why I asked the question. I did not know.
But you said you generally like don't agree with a lot of the points that you associate with people being liberal. I feel
but I also don't associate with a lot of the points that Republicans make. So, yeah, she's moderate. Yeah, I'm nothing. But no,
I wouldn't say that. Don't say that.
Don't say that. Don't say that. So what is the consensus of the group when it comes to gay marriage in America? In America, I know in Canada, the Canadians are quite proud that they've had marriage equality for like 20 years relative to the United States. What is the consensus of the group about marriage equality?
Well, I'm for it.
I don't even know why it's a thing.
Well,
I don't know. I
go ahead.
I think everybody should be happy. Do what they want to do to be happy. I don't know. I don't see the harm.
Okay.
Or governments interfering with love lives of people doesn't seem to make sense.
Yeah.
So okay. Bedrooms in America. Let's talk about this is because this is the Shelton Bumgarner show, so we're going to talk about something that I'm interested in. You guys, this may make your eyes glaze over, but I am interested in ISIS. What is the consensus about what the West should do about ISIS? Any thoughts on that,
deep,
Nick?
That's a deep one. That's a deep one.
I asked you first.
I read a. I think it was this guy who was captured. I think he was British, and he was captured by ISIS, and he was held for 8 or 9 or 14 months. I can't remember. Was somehow not beheaded or burned alive. Obviously, what they do is super terrible, but I don't think. I mean, obviously, they have to be fought with some sort of military. If you want to destroy their capabilities a little bit, but bombing Syria and just kind of doing that kind of thing. Brings back flashbacks of Iraq and, not the first one, the second one, or even the first one. But I read an interesting sort of article or open letter that this guy wrote, that the way to stop ISIS or defeat them is really to really let all the refugees in. And, of course, there's a minority, the small group that will be maybe infiltrators. But the way to defeat them is to show them love and that you're welcome outside of that terror, and we're not going to stop you from coming in. And that the more we actually stop that or fight ISIS, creates more people to join ISIS in those Syrian sides.
Nick, you're getting a little bit too hippy dippy for me.
Well, I hope
You're
Canada
a
brings
hippie,
in,
Shelton.
I hope
I am
Canada
not a
brings in
hippie.
as much refugees as possible.
I agree
wanna
with
help
you
them.
that we should allow the refugees in, but I don't think that we should be like, if we only give ISIS a hug, that will make them
Not ISIS, not ISIS. The people that ISIS are taking over.
No, I agree.
If we don't show love to them, ISIS will just keep.
I agree with you. You're right, Mary.
ISIS can go to hell.
Yeah, Mary. What do you think?
Okay, so here's my whole stance on pretty much everything. I generally don't have a strong opinion on anything until I feel like I have as much information about it as I can to form an opinion. And up until then, I don't really claim to have one. And things like this, like I don't know, because the only information I have is what somebody else has made available, and I don't know what that is or what I'm missing. So I'm not going to probably have a strong position or speak.
Okay, that's exactly that. I understand the problem. Kylie, what do you think?
Kind of what Nick was saying. I don't think we should go the Donald Trump route and close our borders to everybody, because that's making generalizations about every person in a group, which is unfair. And I feel like the U.S. needs to be the backbone of the planet. And I do think that we need to let people in, but with caution and strictly, and not just like, oh yeah, kumbaya, everybody come in. But I think everybody deserves a chance. So with all the Syrian refugees, for example, it's sad because 99.9% of those people are just people with families that are trying to get out of a mess, and they're trying to look out for their kids. And I just think to cut everybody off would be a really horrible thing. And I definitely don't agree with just going and bombing countries where ISIS members are at, because that, again, is unjust. She does not trust the news. Yeah. So, I don't know. But like Mary, I'm not completely informed.
Okay,
so
here's a question.
I can only say so much.
Okay, here's a question for you. And this is something dear to my heart because I am a supporter of Bernie Sanders, for better or for worse. Do you think that Bernie Sanders is the liberal equivalent of Donald Trump? I mean, do you think the same resentments and sense of disenfranchisement that causes Donald Trump is causing the same thing on the left with Bernie Sanders. What do you think? Nick, even though you're not an American, you seem like you have an opinion.
Yeah. No, I mean, I'm not American and I don't follow him enough, but I would say that Bernie Sanders speaks a lot of truths, way more than Donald Trump does, which I respect him for. And a lot of politicians kind of put on a face where he's actually ready to call out the government and say, this is where you're screwing up. So, but I'm not, I have no vote or say in it, so I probably shouldn't. Shouldn't comment.
I was honestly interested in your opinion. Kylie, what do you think of that statement?
About what Nick just said?
Oh, well, the thing that I asked, do you think that Donald Trump
I was just thinking of something else, actually. My thing with Bernie Sanders is I think his heart's in a good place. And the things he said, free college, oh yeah, sounds great. But the problem is, like, most things sound good on paper. It's like, okay, how are we actually going to make college free for all students without really hurting someone else? So it's my problem with him is he has all of these like great ideas. Yeah, they sound awesome. But when you try to actually work them out, it's like, all right, where's that going to work? Taxes will go up. Yes.
Okay, Mary, what do you think?
I think probably what I'm about to say is going to piss off a lot of people. But I am kind of at a point in my life where I am not worried at all about what's going on politically in the U.S. And I'm kind of the mindset that no matter what really happens, my life isn't going to be severely or significantly affected either way. And I really have not kept up on any of the political stuff that's been going on. I think I watched a couple of the Republican debates, and then I watched a bad lip reading of the Republican debate, which I found quite amusing. And I think that my opinion of Bernie there is that he needs to work on his puzzling skills because he was having a lot of trouble with that. But yeah, like I used to be so on top of stuff and so like knowing where everybody was. And I just, the last couple of years, I've just haven't been. And I don't know. I don't know what that is. Maybe it's just me breaking out of like the traditional work role, not having all of that, I don't know, worry about insurance and 401ks and all of this stuff going on that I used to have that I just
so why I ask everyone why is there the sense of disenfranchisement? Like why this is an American question, so I apologize, Nick, if you're a bit excluded.
Damn Canadians.
Whatever.
His internet's held out a really long time.
Why is it,
we're evolving.
Why is it that Americans feel so disenfranchised? Like both Mary and Kylie, I get the sense that you don't really care. Like you just like whatever. Like why is it that you don't feel engaged in American politics at this point? Is there any particular reason, or you just jaded, or what?
I don't know. Like I'm really good with my life, what I'm doing. And I guess in the line of work that I'm in, I don't feel like the politics of it are going to affect that or my happiness or my fulfillment or what I'm doing with my life very much at all. So I don't feel like it's something that I need to keep tabs on or worry about or, I don't know, put a lot of stock into.
What about you, Kylie?
I wouldn't say I don't care. I care greatly about economics, but not so much all of the social issues. That's where I'm very liberal is with social issues. Fiscally, that's where I'm on the right side, and I do care about those because they do affect me. I work, I get taxed, yada, yada. But I just think people, and this goes probably for a lot of people, just get sick of politics because of all the lying and all of the promises that are made, empty promises mainly, and just I think people get sick of it. Not that they don't care, but it's just like, all right, here's more politicians saying more things and making more promises that aren't going to be fulfilled.
Yeah, do you guys actually find that maybe the disregard comes from it doesn't really matter who's in charge, nothing's ever really going to change?
Yeah, I mean, no matter who it is, there's going to be...
Yeah, I don't see how a big significant change happening, like not something that's going to shatter my world or anything. And it's information management. Again, I'm a hardcore researcher. I want to know what's going on and what the truth of what's going on is. And that's kind of impossible to do, to keep up on, it's a lot of time investment to get down to the bottom of it.
Mary, you're someone who works for herself. So it's really just the effort that you put into is the return that you get, as opposed to governments getting in the way, or if taxes are really going to change hugely for you. If you're working for yourself, is anything really going to change that much?
Sure.
It's not like there's a minimum wage that you have to worry about, or
Right. And a time management thing. I value my time, I say, but I will still spend 5 hours on Blab every night. I get
wow, that's a slow night.
So let's talk about the future. What do you think? What does the future hold in store? 2016. I will give you. Open the floor for any general thoughts, and then I'll get more specific. And because ladies, I will go with Kylie first, and then Mary, and then Nick.
For myself?
Well, for yourself and for the world.
For the world, as dark as this sounds, I feel like something really horrible is going to happen this year. No, I feel
something
like
really bad is going to happen.
It sounds dark, but I feel like this year was like a build-up to something, and I hope that's not true, but that's just what I feel, which is kind of scary. But there's just been so many little bad things this year. I just feel like something's going to blow up in 2016. But
anything specific? Can you think of anything specifically that you think is going to happen?
I think it's going to be something related to the ISIS situation. Okay. I couldn't tell you what exactly, but there's just been so many little incidences everywhere with that, where I just feel like something bad's going to happen. But yeah, whatever that is or where that will be, I'm not sure, or if it's even going to happen, but that's just what I feel.
Okay, Mary, what do you think? Give us some general thoughts about the future. 2016.
It's going to crack Nick up because he knows me pretty well, and this is going to probably be annoying as well. But I don't have a part of me that tries to predict what's going on. Even in next week, I don't have that thing, because whatever happens in the future or what I think is going to happen in the future isn't a reality, because I don't know. So I haven't thought about it, and I probably won't think about it. I'm annoyingly I have my desires and my projection of where I want to be, and I kind of try to frame what I do to get there, but I spend little to no time thinking about what anybody else around me, what they're going to be doing in the future or what's going to be going on. So I'm kind of a blank slate on that one, Shelton. I'm sorry. I don't have a good answer.
It's fine.
For you.
It's fine. Nick Darts, what do you think about the future, 2016?
Well, 2006, that's just a year. The future can be a little longer than that.
No, I'll give you a year.
I slightly agree with Kylie.
What will we be talking about at the end of 2016? What do you think?
I think there's a big generational switch going to happen, and there might be a big reset on the way. I don't know what that means, but
better hoverboards.
Maybe better hoverboards.
Ones that don't blow up.
Yes, ones that don't blow up.
And yes, so children aren't losing their feet. And I think who knows, but I think the world right now, this is a new sort of almost World War II of the world's going to come together in some way, and a reset will happen in some way. And that's kind of what I'm predicting. Not to say that it's going to happen next year or not within the next 2 years, but coming down the line. I would say probably shortly. Not gloom or doom. It could be great, but
So,
it'll be a
What do
social
you think,
shift.
Shelton?
Well,
Mhm.
I think
Good co-host question.
I think that we will be. I think it's going to go. Things are going to go politically, at least. Politically, at least in America, things are going to go completely bonkers. I think that there is a better than even chance that Donald Trump will, in fact, be the Republican candidate for president of the United States. And I think that there's a better than even chance that Bernie Sanders will come excruciatingly close to winning the nomination. But I think ultimately Hillary Clinton will get it simply because of money. And then I think Americans will be talking about as the year ends is the complete and total destruction of the Republican Party because of how the shellacking that it got in the 2016 presidential election.
Wow.
I think that is going to be the big thing that we're going to be like, wow, did you just see that landslide? And I'm not saying, like, I'm all for having a strong Republican and Democratic Party. And so I think, do you think we'll go to war? Hold on a second. I think that I'm a strong believer in the political system being healthy, and that would be Rubio would be the best Republican candidate because he's actually kind of like sane, and I think if he were to be the candidate, then it would be an even match between he and Hillary Clinton. Unfortunately, it's unlikely that will happen because probably either Ted Cruz or Donald Trump will be the Republican nominee. Meanwhile, I think that ISIS will strike in America at some point during the course of 2016, and I think that will cause Americans to support significantly stronger approach towards ISIS. So James's question is, do you think that there will be a war? I think there won't be a war, but we're gonna make ISIS hurt a little bit more than it has in the past. Because one thing that has bothered me is that Obama has too often led from behind. He has not been a leader in foreign policy, and I think that his hand will be forced, and he will be forced before the year is over, before his administration is over. He will be forced to bomb the crap out of ISIS in a way that has not been done yet by America. So what do you guys think? What do you think? Who do you think is going to be?
My friend just got here to pick something up, so I'll be back. So
Okay.
I'm take my spot though.
Okay. Okay. So what do you think, Mary? Mary, do you have any opinion at all about the presidential election?
No, I really don't. I gotta be honest. I'm sorry. Like, I'm probably like the worst person you can have up here trying to talk about this stuff. But yeah, I really do not. I don't spend a lot of my energy thinking about it or worried about it. Coming or not. I'm sorry. I evidently am supposed to be in another blab and I'm being pinged over here. So Shelton, I appreciate you letting me come onto your show.
I appreciate your time. Apparently the cool kids want to steal people away from me. Sorry, I'm not cool enough.
Sorry, I'm really not opinionated enough to like.
Sorry, I'm not cool enough.
Have a discourse with you.
The cool kids want my co-host.
well, this did just happen like 10 minutes before your show too.
That's true, but you were kind enough. You were kind enough to agree to at least come on for a little while.
Kind?
No, never.
You're mixing her up with somebody else.
No, absolutely. No, I appreciate it. I love talking to you. That was great.
Okay, well, bye, Mary.
Bye.
Bye, Mary.
Bye, Nick. You're also being pinged. I'm sorry.
I've seen that, but I'm going to hold down the fort.
Give
There's only a few
me
minutes
at
left.
least 15 minutes, people.
Yeah,
I need 15.
I'm staying with you, Shelton.
15 minutes, and then you can leave.
I'm staying with you.
Michaela, at least if Michaela jumps in, maybe I can keep Michaela for a little while. So
Michaela? Yes.
Nick, Bitcoin Babe.
Okay.
Why are people trying to steal all of my people?
Let my people stay.
Let my people stay. Okay, yes, Michaela has always got strong opinions on stuff.
Okay, come on in, Bitcoin Babe. I haven't met her yet.
She is.
My cousin's name is Michaela, though, so I'm a big fan already.
Hey, Michaela.
Hello.
What's happening?
I am tired as fuck.
What time is it over there that you're so tired?
Oh,
Isn't
no,
it
I'm
New
in
Year's
America
Eve?
at the moment. It's
okay.
still 11:15, but
Okay.
I've been living on Australia time a bit, so.
I see.
But I've been listening along.
Nice to meet you.
No one can steal me away from you, Shelton. Don't worry.
Oh, thank you so much, Michaela. I'm glad somebody won't be leaving. Everybody, all my co-hosts are leaving, and
What am I, chopped liver?
no, you're
Oh
not
yeah, I
chopped
guess
liver,
Kylie had to sneak away to do some sketchy deal.
Yeah. So Michaela, Michaela, I have not asked you these questions. I have not asked Nick, so I'll ask you. What? Tell us a review of your 2015, and also give us some sense of what's going to happen in 2016.
Oh shit! What didn't happen in 2015? I spent the first 2 months of 2015 in America. Came home, and about a month and a half later, I was kidnapped.
Pardon?
And then,
You were kidnapped?
yeah. And then had to deal with that.
Brought to America?
No.
Like,
I came back
actually?
from America and was kidnapped in Australia. Like I was literally, I was taken for like 3 days.
By
who?
friends, or
No,
is
like,
this legitimately a
People
kidnapping?
who thought they could like, trying to steal my Bitcoin, pretty much. Like it was,
They were
it was
trying
ridiculous.
to steal your Bitcoin.
You were held at ransom for your Bitcoin?
Yeah, pretty much.
Wow. Hi, Caroline.
Like it was
Wow.
a bit hectic. So
No
three
doubt.
days I was kind of out, and people were looking for me, and then they finally found me. Made the news and everything else. And then kind of just sort of dealt with that as I do.
Were these people prosecuted and
No, they never
or
found
beaten
them. No, see, this was the thing. This is the fucking thing, right? So, I had a suspicion of who it was that was like harassing me, and I went to the police about it, and I said, like, look, these people harassing me. I'm involved with Bitcoin. This is why I think they're harassing me. Blah blah blah. Started like telling them all this stuff, and they pretty much turned around. They were like, "Oh, she's just making up all this bullshit because it's like because they couldn't comprehend what Bitcoin was to begin with." And then they kind of just thought it was this fake monopoly money and thought I'd kind of lost my mind. And so yeah, they didn't believe me. And yeah, and then 2 days later I was, yeah.
So,
Wow.
So how? Tell us about your being detained. Like, what were you in? Like some sort of like weird Silence of the Lambs thing, or what?
I don't remember it. Like honestly, I
don't remember it.
I don't remember the whole thing. Pretty much they came into my house. I was doing the dishes, and it was just chloroform over the mouth, and that was it.
How did you escape?
I didn't. They found me 3 days later, about 2 hours away from my house, on a back sort of dirt street, behind a train station, and they found me dumped behind a shrub, drugged, with my hands tied behind my back with electrical wire.
Holy shit.
And it wasn't until, but where it was a dirt road that sort of led into a commuter car park, so people could get onto the train and head into work closer into town. So they reckon, and because it'd been raining that night, it had been raining at certain times during the evening, and because I was found wet, they figured that I was dumped there around 3 o'clock in the morning, and then I wasn't found till about 7:30 that morning. So I was there for a good 4.5 hours. The only thing I really remember was being told to count. So, and I don't remember why, but I ended up getting up to like 4,000 and something. But I was like in and out of it. It was really, really bizarre.
You were drugged. Were you like slightly emancipated, or did they feed you, or like?
I wouldn't even know. Like they did. Like I was obviously taken to the hospital and everything when they found me. They found codeine and I forget the name. It was like a really long, like not hydrochloride or something. It was like a date rape drug, but there was no signs of sexual harassment or anything like that. So that was good.
That's always a positive.
Yeah. And they took my phone as well, which had my 2-factor authentication on it to like try and log into my Bitcoin stuff, but they didn't have the password, so they couldn't. And then as soon as I like got home, I remote wiped everything. So
wow,
yeah,
that's quite an ordeal.
Yes, I wasn't aware of that. That's scary. That's very scary. I think scary is an understatement. That's horrible. That's horrific.
Oh, it's all right. That's well, you know, the people spike your drink. You say thank you because drugs are very expensive these days.
So other than that, Mrs. Lincoln, how was the theater? Tell us about your 2016. What are your plans for 2016?
Well, I'm still in America, obviously. Going back home next month, and I don't know yet. I just see where the world takes me.
Yes, no abductions. All right, we have just about reached about the hour mark because I started this blab a little early. I want to say thank you very much to everyone who's contributed to this hour. Thank you, Nick Darts. Thank you, Michaela, and thank you, Kylie, and thank you, Mary. And I think that will be it for today. Good night, folks.